let's see if this works this time. Real interesting looking intro here. Nintendo presents. Developed by Retro Studios. Hey guys, gamer of gamers in the zone, and we are beginning a brand new Let's Play, the Metroid Prime Trilogy. I do have, similar to the last time you saw me try doing this, I was trying to play this on through emulation, specifically the Dolphin emulator. While I managed to get the emulation to work, it initially had some issues, as you've probably seen in the past, for those of you that have been following for a while. Those of you that don't know, I'm sure you'll see in my playlist that the first video is when I was having issues. It turns out the emulation was working just fine, but it was specifically with Metroid Prime that the problem was occurring. And apparently it was specifically because something... I don't know why, but for some reason there was that screen issue from playing using the dual-core processor activated. So if you turn off the dual-core processor, the game will eventually work just fine. I don't know how difficult this game is, so I'm just going to start on normal mode for the first Metroid Prime game. But the game should work just fine now. Hopefully. We'll see here. This should work. Unidentified distress beacon has been tracked to a derelict space vessel in orbit above Talon 4. Okay, so some kind of unidentified distress signal. Now, unlike the other Metroid games we played that have been all 2D, I hear this one is supposed to be a bit more interesting, mainly due to the fact that this one, in case you haven't seen my video where I was having the problems, this one is a lot more 3D, and I think is more of designed to be a first-person shooter. So, we'll see how this goes. Because I have no idea what to expect. Audio still sounds a little bit scuffed. I'm not sure if that's just an emulation problem, or if that's just how it sounded in the original game, and, like, from a regular TV perspective, it probably initially sounded fine. I really can't tell. Unless I'm pretty sure this will be the only time we hear this problem. Because I'm certain this should work. Because if it doesn't work, then that basically means that, once again, I'm not going to be able to play the Metroid Prime Trilogy. And it's like, I'm working really hard here to try and get this emulation to work. And last I tested it, when I did disable the dual-core processor, it seemed to work just fine. So I'm certain I can get the controls to work just fine, or the game to work just fine. It's just, now I just need to figure out how I'm supposed to control everything, considering the fact that I am emulating this, and this is regularly supposed to be a Wii game. So I have no idea how the controls are going to work here. An interesting fact that I've heard about the ship that Samus uses to land here is that that's the same ship that's used in Metroid Zero Mission, which is interesting considering the fact that in Metroid Zero Mission we saw that ship get shot down, so it's pretty obvious then that if that is technically the same ship from Zero Mission, then that basically means then that this ship right here, Samus somehow eventually took the time to salvage it. I guess sometime after the destruction of the space pirate mothership. Anyway, press and hold Z to lock on the targets. So, okay, no, that's not the button to lock on the targets. That's the button to go into Morph Ball. Let's try the Shift key. Okay, I think I found it. Okay, so depending on what's on screen first, and based on what's showing there, that's a little bit strange to work with. I think it'll be easier to... I mean, it'll probably be easy when I'm trying to focus on one specific target, but that's going to be a bit complicated. The next set of force field controls are offline. Okay, what's going on here? Scan the central pillar to activate them. Do I also have to lock onto them, or... That... Move cursor onto top zone and release minus to enter the scan visor. Okay, that button is for double jump. Move cursor onto the top zone and enter the scan visor. Which button is the minus button? Because I really don't know what the controls are. I wonder if there's a way I can... Do you want to stop the current animation? Hang on, I just want to check and see what the controls are. If I can even look at them at this time. I'm guessing not. So if that's the case, let's try actually... Okay, no. Well... Oh geez, what button did I just press? I want to know what the... Okay, no, I didn't want to open that up. I want to know what... Okay, this is also not the button I wanted. Although it's good to know that the, this is what these buttons do, though I don't exactly know. Interesting. Okay, so I can use the one button to open up the map. That doesn't really make clear, though... Oh, no, I didn't mean to press that button. Okay, this is all very confusing to figure out. I'm just interested in seeing what's going on here, but clearly that's not the right button. I'm just pressing random buttons until I find what works here. Okay, well, I know what that does, but I want to know cursor to the top zone. Yikes, Samus jumps high. Spacebar? Alt. No. That button I know just does that. There is no use pressing that button. I'm just pressing every button on my keyboard until I find the button that works. Enter? No, okay, pressing enter does nothing. I'm just pressing every button on my keyboard until I get results. Seriously, none of these buttons are working. Like, what am I supposed to do? It's none of the buttons are working. I know that button doesn't do anything. Control just puts me into Morph Ball mode. Am I, like, supposed to specifically go in front of this, or... No, I don't want to do that. What are the buttons? Okay, that uses up missiles. I clearly don't want to do that. Okay, the down button on the arrows uses missiles. We got that down. Okay, seriously, what button is the minus button? Because I am pressing every button on my keyboard right now, desperately trying to find the button to use missiles. Because, like, we know that the one button does this, which doesn't really tell me anything, because it shows the controls for a Wiimote, but it doesn't show the controls for pressing... Do I seriously have to turn this off just to figure out how to get this to work? Move cursor onto the top zone and press... Okay, whoops. I didn't mean to touch that. What do these buttons do? Well, I'm already lost. None of the buttons on the keyboard are working. I'm gonna try some of the F buttons. F1, does that state not found?